And welcome to Intermission at Folk Night at the Registry. I'm Jan Vanderhorst, and now we get to spend a few minutes with tonight's guest, Lucy MacNeil. Welcome to Folk Night and to Kitchener.
Hello, it's great to be here.
First of all, congratulations on the East Coast Music Award nomination for your album, Angel's Whisper. It must be pretty exciting.
Oh, thank you. It is. It was quite exciting when I heard the news. Yeah.
And this is for an album that originally wasn't supposed to be commercially released. It was supposed to be a gift, a going away gift for your guests at your wedding.
Yes, that's how it all began, and then it grew a little more during, from a 5-number EP. We built upon it during COVID, and then after COVID, we finished the album 10 numbers, and so we didn't really know that's where it was going, but that's where we ended up.
Right, and the initial recordings were kind of hush hush. You were working with Jamie Folds, right?
The initial ones were a surprise.
Yeah,
it was a gift to our guests, and we didn't want anybody to know. Kind of would spoil it. So Jamie's great. Like, he did not let anybody know. Even his mother came in one day, and I don't know how he gave some excuse why we were there.
Now, as a member of the Bear MacNeils, you're not the only one who writes tunes and songs,
No.
And there are only so many that can fit on an album. So, did you have a lot of this material sitting around before going into the studio?
Well, I think it's a lot of material that throughout my life I really liked, and like when we do Bear albums, there's 3 solo singers, and so sometimes it's like, but you don't want all slow songs, and so there's a ebb and flow to the album to make it cohesive and work, and even keys and things like that. So you don't always get to do the ones that you want because you're trying to make a good album, so you're working together. So this was an opportunity that I got to do some of the traditional songs that I really always loved growing up, and I'm happy that how it all turned out.
Right, and a lot of that influence was, of course, from your parents, and your mom's voice is featured on one of the tunes. Tell me about the decision of using her voice to singing for the album.
Well, she did get to hear the album. We would play it for her, but she had dementia, and so it was our mother was, she was, today is National Women's Day, and she was an incredible woman. She taught us so much about music, and she wasn't a school musician. She was just a very musical lady, and taught us the step dancing and taught us tunes, and she had a very good ear for, like, if you were playing an instrumental or a slow air or something, that she'd say, draw the bow a little longer there, and make that smoother, and cut that off a little sooner. So she had an ear for it, but she wasn't like a teacher, and she couldn't read music herself, but she wanted us to all be able to read music and communicate that way with other musicians. Yeah.
Right. And of course there's the difference between learning the music by ear and learning the notes, in a school.
Yeah.
There's a different way or a different feel of playing the same tune.
We had the best of both worlds. We took formal lessons, and but we also learned by ear from her. She would teach us a tune, so really, and I remember when I went off to Mount Elfin University, it's like, for ear training classes and stuff, you had a little edge because you're used to doing it, but as far as the theory and all that stuff, I was a little slower on that, but I wouldn't say slow, probably just a little lazier on it, but but so we were very, very lucky that our mother saw the importance of that we all were musical, and she didn't just waste it. Let us waste it. She wanted us to do something with the gifts we were given.
And on this album, a couple of your brothers are involved in arranging the music and producing.
Yes, my brother Stuart MacNeil, he produced the album, and Boyd MacNeil performed. He played bouzouki on it, and Stuart played some piano and accordion on it. I think it was just those two that were on it. I kept it simple,
Right.
and fairly simple. And it was really, I have to say, enjoyable. Not that other albums weren't enjoyable, but it was freeing to know that I had the last say, and I didn't have to argue with someone over something, because when all of us, are working on something, we all have a voice, and so it takes longer.
Right.
Things take a little more time, and
Right.
and so this sometimes Stuart and I, for the most part, it was very good, and I was very respectful of him because he was producing. But there was one day where it was going not where I wanted it to go, and I felt empowered when I said, no, this is not how it's going to be, because you don't often get that chance with your brother.
Now, the early '90s were a time of increased focus on East Coast performers. The Bear MacNeils, Rankin family, Natalie McMaster. That must have been a very heady time, very exciting.
It was very exciting. It was a music that we were playing all our lives, and all of a sudden it had the world stage, and all these friends, people from Cape Breton. The light was shining on all of us, and people were getting to see the Cape Breton music for the first time, I guess, because it seemed like it. And there was a lot of excitement, a lot of hoopla, and it went away again, but but the music is still there. It's like where it was before the light shone on it, and now with the streaming and access to everything, people, if they want it, they can find it. So it's great for us, because we have lots of we still have new fans every day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Was it easy to keep a level head during that time when there was so much going on?
I believe so. Yeah. We're pretty level-headed and fun. We're pretty low-key.
Right.
But it was exciting. We got to do things. We wouldn't have been able to probably, like we opened for Celine Dion at one point there. And so that's probably an opportunity that wouldn't have came about if that whole East Coast phenomena that went on. And so it was one of the very memorable times. It was nice to meet Celine. She was great. We didn't get to meet her till the very end, and she liked the song "Chase the Man."
Okay.
I don't know if you remember
Yeah,
"Chase the Man," and she was like, "Chase the man, chase the man," and she was very funny, really funny. And but in those days, we didn't get a picture. There was no selfies, no.
Right.
No,
Wow.
she had her robe on and her rollers. Her makeup was done. So you're again very respectful of that. And but she did meet us. It was St. John de Brunswick. Her assistant or whatever, she came to us and said, "Celine would like to meet you before you finish." So we played 3 nights at the O'Keefe Center.
Okay.
Then it was, and then we did the Maritime dates, and finished in St. John de Brunswick.
Wow. You mentioned before we started that the 40th anniversary of the Bear MacNeils is coming up. So what are the plans? What are the grand plans?
Well, there are some plans, but I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it yet. But just some anniversary type things that we're looking into and planning, and maybe kind of like a book type of thing, but just trying to figure out all the logistics of it. So, but yeah, it's hard to believe 40 years, because we didn't really take a break. We've continued right through, and
Right.
and so that's why it's funny when I say, my debut album. But I'm glad that other people don't find it funny, and they
Right.
think it's a great thing.
Right. And
You
you're
know?
enjoying the touring as a solo artist?
I am. It gets a little. Just talking about yourself is not the easiest thing. It's
Right.
but I'll keep working on it. But it's been fun, and I got a good crew traveling with me, and they got great sense of humor, and so far it's been great.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you very much. This has been a pleasure.
Great.